was just
You know
like,
what I
eh,
learned recently? That really, really good quality tequila is actually good for you.
nice. I don't. Tequila brings out the demons. So
How many questions you got, woman?
I have four. So
You asked me like seven already.
relax. What did you learn when you were a bachelor?
Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday, end of August. Another episode of Purpose Over Pleasure, the his and hers, my beautiful girlfriend.
Hi.
And today, we're going to be doing something different. Today, she is going to be asking me
Some juicy
the
questions.
the uncomfortable questions. Yeah?
Ooh, you didn't say uncomfortable. Now, I might
Hey,
just add
hey.
some uncomfortable ones.
Not everyone needs to know.
Keep you on your toes. Ooh, I might just throw
Oh,
the last one in there.
okay. All right. I ain't
See what I
scared.
see what I
I ain't
come up
scared,
with.
but I'm taking notes.
Go ahead, take as many
Yeah.
chicken scratch
I
notes you
forgive,
need
but I
to.
don't forget.
That's fine. Write it down too, so you don't.
Hit me. Hit me.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, uh, what are some challenges you had in your young adult age?
The 20s? Because I'm in my 30s, so 20s would
Yeah.
be fair.
Right.
Okay. What are some challenges?
Yeah. Some challenges in your young adult life that you that stand out to you that made you want to become different.
Getting my shit together.
But what does that entail?
Becoming more disciplined and more aware that I have to do something with my life if I want to achieve the things that I wanted to achieve in my life. So, in other words, in my early 20s, I guess you can say I lived a fast life. Or, I had a lot of fun, let's put it that way. And no regrets,
No regrets.
no regrets. But start to realize that if I want to achieve something in life, I have to do the necessary work. Nothing will just come to me. So I never really fall into like a. I've been into dark places in my life, but I never really like was so down and not knowing what to do. Besides one time, and that one time when I was really lost in my life, I think it was my mid 20s, 24, 25, 24 maybe. I was supposed to go to med school, right? So I was literally about to graduate with my degree in biological sciences, and at that point, I already volunteered at a few hospitals. I done some research work. I was aware of what that is going to be like and what the job is about, and I did not like it. I did not like the idea that I had to spend some of the precious years of my life to do something that I wasn't even enjoying. I would rather spend those years of my life trying something that I think I enjoy or I would enjoy in the future or doing for the rest of my life. And I remember being really lost. And I remember I was driving. I was still in college. I was still living with my roommates. And I was just like, I was so broken down at the time. I just started praying. Yeah. I just started praying. I just asked God, like, listen, I'm lost. I am lost. Like, this is what obviously my family wanted me to do. This is what I thought I wanted to do. This is what my friends wanted me to do. Or I thought I would do. And now I have to like switch completely and try something that have never done. But I was like, hey, help me out. And the big guy upstairs did. Somehow he shifted me, guided me in that direction. I think also a big part of that was him sending me a mentor. Um, remember, I was like a week ago, I was on the phone
Mm-hmm.
on a Zoom call with him after like 5 years, almost 4 or 5 years not talking to him. And I told him, yeah, you were a big part of my life. You were a big part of that transformation. And it's funny, today I posted on my story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Posted on my story that, when you take a effort, conscious step towards something you really want to do, the teacher will show up. That's why I said just try something. Just take action, any action. And then just keep learning, and then the teacher will show up. And that happened a lot in my life. It happened back then. It happened in the business aspect of things with Kevin, right?
You're
Who intro-
welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, you do get the credit for introducing me to one of my businessmen, my first business mentor. Shout out to Kevin Maxwell. I love you, bro. Um, yeah, you introduced me to him, and now fast forward, he's a mentor, partner, great friend, like a brother to me. Um, yeah, at every point of my life, there was somebody who would come into my life and help me or teach me a lesson.
How did you? I know a lot of people ask me, how does one find a mentor? How does one attract a mentor? How does one look for what? How do you know what a mentor is?
A mentor is somebody who does what you want to do. A mentor is somebody who's successful, at the very least, in the realm of things that you pursue, or even better, at many different things. But it has to be at least that one thing that you either want to pursue, such as career or job, right? Entrepreneurship, business, whatever it is, law enforcement, whatever it is, you know. But it's even better when that person's successful in that realm and other realms around them, like fitness, right? Finances, right? Marketing, anything you need, for successful to be a successful entrepreneur.
Does one ask that person? Like if somebody wanted you to mentor them,
Yeah,
what would be the best way to get around to doing that? Because I think a lot of young guys, especially men, it's hard to be like, hey, bro,
yeah,
can you mentor me?
yeah. We have that thing. We
At
have
least
that.
some girl. I mean, sometimes for girls too. A lot of girls that I associate myself with, like we're feminine, but we're masculine.
Yeah,
So it's a little uncomfortable that you say, like, I know my mentor, I've bluntly told her, I see you as my mentor. I followed you for so long. You've been doing this for so long, and I want to know how your in depth how your brain works. I want to know your skills. I want to know what made you you. So, for men, any tips or suggestions on how somebody can ask you or somebody else to be their mentor?
yeah, absolutely. So that's a good question, actually. Reason why is because a lot of men out there are lonely islands. I've always been a lonely island, and but the thing about me, I was never afraid to ask for help, and that's what helped me in life. Why are you laughing?
Sorry. I was like, does your island have monkeys?
This is,
Sorry, go on.
this is you always gotta say
I'm just
something.
so random.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
go
you
on.
are. No, you have to reach out to other men, and it's uncomfortable sometimes. Like for example, again, Kevin, right? My
Uh-huh.
business mentor. He's 2 years younger than me. So the first is like the idea, oh, the guy's younger than me.
Mhm.
How can I be mentored by somebody younger than me? But he's lived such a saturated life. He's been through such serious struggle and such lows in his life, and he came out on top. And I've seen him do things in front of my eyes. And one of them take his company from nothing to a multi-million-dollar company in 1 year.
Oh, damn.
Like it shows you something, shows you character.
Mhm.
Shows you character. He doesn't just talk. He does. Like he makes moves, and I learn a lot from him. So that gives him a certain amount of credibility. So I don't care if he's 2 years younger than me. I don't care.
So
Like
I think that men need to learn how to separate their ego and their pride in order to learn from somebody else, because men are very I hate to say egotistical, but just like this masculine,
we
like
have so we have a
competition.
the power of competition, the sense of competition in men is necessary.
Right,
Competition is good. I'm all for it
right.
because competition creates the best product, creates the best person, creates the best business, creates just the best version of yourself.
Mhm.
It also depends who you compete with. Do you compete with others, like in any sport, or do you compete with yourself? I don't play any sports, but I compete with myself yesterday. Like today, I got to be better than I was yesterday. I don't necessarily believe that there's only limited supply of money, finance, wealth, houses out, et cetera, out there. And that's something I learned from my mentors who are successful in business. I realized that there's plenty for everyone. And the people who are that successful actually bring each other up. They don't try to stab each other and try to shit on each other, which is common for us regular folks, you know? But once you realize that, then you kind of pick your battles. My battle's always with me. You know, I have to be better than I was yesterday. I have to be 10 minutes of reading better than I was yesterday. I have to be that extra push-up better than I was yesterday. I have to expand my knowledge. I have to make my body better. I have to eat healthier. I have to move forward with everything I do in my life. So competition is great. But because of that, sometimes men who are not confident, they take competition as threat. And that's the problem. I'm confident enough in my abilities and knowing what I want to do and what I'm capable of that I don't take somebody's success as a form of competition. I learn. I genuinely learn. I'm like, oh shit, how'd you do it? First of all, fucking great job. I respect the hustle. And you know me, I will never shit on somebody's hustle. I might not like you as a person. I might not like certain character traits of you, but I respect the grind. You know, I don't care if you fart in jars and ship it overseas. I don't care. As long as you're not breaking two rules. Don't ever hurt anybody and don't take anything away from somebody. I don't care what you do then. You know, I respect it. But at the very core of you have to be a good person. You have to have good morals and good standards. Take that, build the level of confidence necessary in you. Then other men's success is not going to be a threat to you. You're not going to hate them. You're going to be like them. You're going to ask them questions. If I see my mentors do something or have something or achieve certain levels, I ask him, hey, how did you do it? Simply because mentors are a stairway to success. They'll tell you exactly what fucking mistakes not to do. They'll tell you. Books won't tell you. I mean, some books will tell you. Schools for sure won't tell you. So you got to ask the people who actually lived that life, who's been through that struggle, who came out on top. Sometimes they're going through motions in life, but they're still doing it. You know, I see them do it. So you ask. And that's what men have to separate. You know, that's when confidence comes in. And confidence creates a clear separation between being afraid to ask somebody because you're jealous or because you're the type of person who are not happy when somebody is doing better than you, or respecting their hustle, respecting their grind and be like, hey, fair and square, I have a question. How'd you do it? And that person will help you. People also sometimes think that people who are successful are not going to share their knowledge. And I don't know every very successful person out there, but I know a bunch. And they answer questions that you ask them, you know, because they care. Like a bodybuilder is not going to laugh at you or shut you down if you're asking a question about bodybuilding. A basketball player is not going to shit on you when you're asking a question about basketball. A businessman is not going to, you know, talk shit to you if you're trying to build your business because they've been through it. They've done it. They care about the craft. It's always the fucking hater that wants to say something. A person who's not doing jack shit with their life, a person who has no idea how certain things can be done, and they just, all they're doing is watching from sidelines and then talking shit about you. You know, the ambitious, lazy person. That's what I call them. They're ambitious. They want the same shit. They want the great life. They want that car. They want that girl. They want that business. They want that travel. They want all that, but not doing jack shit about it. They would rather sit, you know, for hours at a time and binge watch TV, sports, porn, Netflix fucking series, not doing shit. How do I know? Because I've done that. Not the jealousy part. I never hated nobody's hustle, but I've been to a dark place of my life where I was like, not doing shit with my life. I had no purpose.
Were you mad at other people?
No, never. That's what separates me from a lot of people that I had to cut out of my life. I was never mad. And every time, I'm a human being, I've had reactions like, fuck, man. Like, how come I'm not there? How come I don't have that? You know? But I was like, that's not that person's fault. That's my fault. So now I'm happy for that person. I'm going to try to go there in the same direction. I'm going to ask questions if necessary. I want to be there. But that's on me. What good is it going to do to me if I'm sitting on my ass? I'm like, well, fuck that person. They just bought a Ferrari. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like Kevin buys cars more often than shit. I've changed my tires.
Who, Kevin?
Yeah. He just
And
got a new.
animals.
Yeah, and exotic animals. But hey, the guy works.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's
You
fair
know
to
why?
admit that. Huh?
You know why?
Why?
Because he's an Aquarius.
Oh, God. Here we go. I thought you were going to say because he's a good
Shout
woman.
out to my Aquarians.
I thought you were
We're
going
the
to say
best. We're the best.
because he has a good woman by his side.
Oh, yeah, that too. But you know why?
Why?
His woman is a Pisces.
No.
Yep.
Oh,
We
really?
had this conversation when we left our house. Remember?
So Aquarius, Pisces, and then the other way around.
Right.
It's a good combo.
Mhm.
That's a powerful combo.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're a
She
power couple.
supports him like, oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's
That's
woman
very
right there.
important.
She
That's
tried-
another thing for that's
dedication.
very important for men. I cannot stress the importance of having a right partner or the partner that supports you. And I talked about that already in one of the previous episodes about how we keep our household, how, you know, we maintain peace and love and just constantly work on each other.
Yep. But we don't need to
Digress.
So let's see.
I'm trying to just avoid those questions and shit.
Ready for my next question?
All right, hit me. Let's go.
What are some tips you can give to women who are single and dating?
Oh, we're diving into some.
Hey, ladies want to hear. I'm
Dark.
sure the ladies want to hear.
Ladies want to hear, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, there are going to be some women out there
That's fine.
who are going to see this episode and give it like, this motherfucker.
Hey, you know what? Then it's not for them yet. At a point, it probably will, because then that means they're gonna have to change their mindset.
Yeah.
There's some there is something out there for everybody at different parts of their life. I'm sure when we were younger, or just a year ago, you know, you had said you wanted a podcast, and look, now you're here. So everybody has the ability to get to that point of understanding and knowledge and wavelengths of thought processes. They just have to do the work and be around it.
You're talking to a very small minority of people doing the work.
And that's why we're here, is because we want to start planting seeds. That's the whole purpose of a pleasure.
Yeah.
So let's get back to that question.
Hey, all right, man. All right. Damn. I just want to know, huh? That's the thing about you. You always ask these questions that a lot of women would not want to hear the answer to. But I like that about you. You always ask some uncomfortable questions, not only for myself, but an average woman would be very uncomfortable with the answers I've given you.
But that helps toughen the skin.
Okay.
That
all
gives
right.
them character.
Okay.
It allows a woman to understand how a mind works of a man.
How a mind of a man works.
And that's why I asked you those questions back in the day, because I needed to know what was going through your head, how you were as a person. Myself? Yeah, because I needed to know how confident you were.
She asked me to rate myself. Can you believe that shit? Nobody's ever asked me to rate myself. I wasn't even kind of comfortable with that question. I was like, I gotta rate myself? Never thought about that shit.
But I made you think.
Yeah, you made me think.
I kept you on your toes.
You made me think.
Told you I would.
Yeah.
So we can get to this question or what?
All right. What can I tell women out there, young women out there who are dating? Well, okay, 20s or 30s?
Let's do both.
Because
there are some
things you really
20s.
need to consider when you're 30.
Okay, let me reinstate that. What would you tell a young woman who is dating, single, and wants to know, as a woman, what are some traits she can possess to attract a mature, respectable man?
Okay, fair enough. That is the type of question you ask ChatGPT. to get a proper answer. All right, not a generic question. I want to be rich. Now this is like I want to have 1,027, 267,000.
Why are you digressing
I'm
from
not. I'm
the
letting you know. Okay,
question?
here's the answer. Here's the answer. I'm not. I'm just talking smack. First and foremost, first and foremost, develop confidence. Okay, easy with that
My
painting.
homie wanted a hug.
Develop confidence because if you don't have enough confidence in you, you're gonna be jealous, and a lot of women out there are jealous, and jealousy is extremely toxic for a relationship with a strong masculine man. It might be a deal breaker. A lot of women out there, good looking, carry themselves a certain way, but behind closed doors, they're extremely insecure. And us men can see that. The reason why it's important is reason number two. There are predators out there who will take advantage of a woman who's insecure. It's not that hard. As a matter of fact, a lot of pickup artists, right, or players out there, don't ask me how I know, okay, may utilize certain techniques to find out what things she's insecure about and use it against her.
Are you speaking from experience?
No, I'm not. I put it out there. Some women who I've dated in my life might not be necessarily fans of me anymore, but I never disrespected any woman. Like I never put any woman's name down. I never spread any rumors. I just felt how I felt at the time, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out. But I never went around claiming somebody is a hoe, sharing any photos, talking about any kind of private sexual things. Never. I learned. I move on. Okay, so no, I know some dudes who's done certain things that I personally did not respect. Okay, women do the same shit. Okay, I've also been slapped in the face by a woman, not physically. Okay, that I shared a certain secret, very important secret, with that woman, and then at first big argument, that subject was used to slap me in the face with it. That's when I learned, oh hell no, I ain't sharing shit with nobody. That was a good learning lesson for me. Okay, so those are two things already. Number three, you have to first find happiness being alone before you find happiness in other men. And that falls back on being confident. That goes for every person out there. But a lot of times, women try to find happiness in relationship, in the comfort of a relationship, or sometimes even get married and try to find happiness in their children, which is, I know nothing about being a mother, and I've had a great mother, and she poured her heart into her kids. She's lived for us her entire life, and she did not have a great life. She had a very tough life, but she loved us with all her heart, and she poured in her life into us. Mm-hmm. And women do that often. So be happy with yourself. Do things in your life, because the last thing an independent, good, strong, masculine man wants, or like some women like to say, what is that? High value men, which I don't necessarily fucking agree with, because now we separate men and high value men. Now they shit on regular men who are high value men, and they pick top 1% of 1% and they consider them high value men. Those are still high value men, but don't shit on regular men out there to whom I dedicate this podcast. Okay, there's a lot of great men out there who hustle, who wake up early before the sun every day, go to work to feed their family and do better for the world. But like I said, no strong, masculine, successful man out there will tolerate a woman who's insecure, who constantly needs to be with him, who's constantly checking on him, who's constantly jealous, who's constantly trying to be like a tail. And that's one thing in our relationship that helped me out, because you are not my tail. You do your thing, I do my thing. We spend good amount of time together, but a lot of our time together is also productive. We never sit on our asses. We never fucking on our phones. We never watch TV. Our TVs, is it even plugged in? I think it's been unplugged since
I don't know why I
last
still
year.
have that in there. It's
It's a
taking up
decor
space.
piece.
I can find a better piece of decor that I prefer to look at than a black screen. I'm sorry. Why not? If you really need a TV, why don't you just get the one
I
that
don't
comes
need a
down?
TV.
Okay,
I
then
don't need
get
that
rid of it.
either.
Anyways, digressing.
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah. So that was what, 3 or 4?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A successful man is not going to tolerate insecurities. Like I've dated a woman who's insecure, and that drove me crazy,
Mm-hmm.
crazy, because I'm not insecure,
Mm-hmm.
and I attract attention from both men and women, and not necessarily in a sexual way. So yeah, I talk to a lot of people. I have contact with a lot of people. I do a lot of things, whether it's in work and business and podcasts and whatever. And last thing I need is somebody checking on me and thinking and asking me questions where I am, what I do. I don't have time for this bullshit, and you know that. And you also do your thing. I can leave you perfectly for hours. You're in your studio, you're being creative, you're doing your art. You know, sometimes you bug the shit out of me when I tell you stop talking. But then sometimes I say, "Hey, babe, I love you." After that,
Yeah, we're gonna work on that.
hey, that
Hey,
was in the moment of
what?
busyness.
Then you don't respond.
Yeah. Anyways, those are some important things. There's certain things that successful men don't tolerate. Good men won't tolerate.
So
And don't
confidence.
disrespect. Oh, sorry. Don't disrespect men. If you're the type of woman who thinks that she's the shit, who thinks that she's a 10, even though she's like a 7 with makeup on, and a lot of these women out there are fucking delusional. They think they're a 10 and they allow themselves to disrespect other men because their mamas and their grandmas and their girlfriends told them, you're a queen, but in reality, you haven't amounted to shit yet. You broke. You live with roommates. Your job sucks. You're in debt. Yet you post pictures of your ass out there on Instagram. No.
Well, you also have to remember that some of these girls, they're not having these conversations with anybody. Their friends are not keeping them in check. They're not the ones to keep their own self in check. So, of course, if you are not keeping yourself in check, then what makes you think anybody else can tell you
Open the
how?
mic.
Oh,
Hmm.
sorry. Nobody else can tell you or suggest things because you're not going to listen to them. If you can't listen to
Well,
yourself.
then pick a better environment.
Well, that's the thing. Some You have to understand that sometimes some girls, they grow up in this environment. They don't choose the environment. The environment, sometimes they grow in it.
Okay, how about this? How do you feel about your life? Are you happy?
I'm
Are you comfortable? Well, I'm talking about you, but are you happy, baby?
I'm very
You're
happy.
happy? Okay, I love it. Thank you. I'm talking in general. Uh, are you happy with your life?
Yeah.
Or are you fucking miserable?
Mm.
If you can honestly look in the mirror and say, I'm fucking miserable, the most important thing is, why am I reason? Sorry,
Excuse you.
excuse me. Oh, that sparkling water gas came out at the wrong time. I apologize. Look into who you're dating or married to. If you're single, look at who you're surrounded with, including your parents, your family, and then your friends. Okay. And then look at your job. Do you enjoy it? Like all these important factors, which one of them drives you crazy? I mean, if you're married to a retard, if your family shits on you, and if you hate your job, then God, that's tough. But maybe one at a time, and you can over time change things in life.
Well, I think people in general should be asking themselves these questions. This is why I'm very big on journaling. When I posted on my page about my journaling books, I had 3 books already finished.
Yeah, you
Two
write you write a lot.
within one year. I'm done with it. I need a new one. But some people don't know what to journal about, and it sucks because these are the things that we should be taught in school,
I still struggle with that.
and we don't speak enough about this topic.
Well, that comes from emotional immaturity.
No, not necessarily. I think it's very important that we all write out.
No. I'm talking about the fact that you can't speak about certain things. If you can communicate about things at the very baseline, prior even to journaling, you have emotional immaturity. Like if you expect people to know how you're feeling just because of the way you look, if you come home and act like an asshole, um, and you expect people to know about it, then you're emotionally immature. Like when I have bad days, usually always on the way home or at work right before or when I come in home, what I tell you, I had a tough day. I don't just come in acting like an asshole. I tell you,
Reflect.
yeah. If I come home tired, sometimes extremely tired, I just want to go to sleep. I tell you, babe, I'm tired. I go to shower, go to sleep. I do that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't just come in, slam the door, and fucking act like an asshole, not talk to you, and go to sleep. Like it's not your fault. I had a busy day. I had a tough day.
Right.
So I tell you straight up, like I'm fucking exhausted. Like I need sleep. I don't want to hear anybody or anything. Sorry, we can talk about it tomorrow. And there have been a handful of times where like, babe, not right now. Like we're not talking about this right now. And I think it's not selfish. It's just letting the other person know I'm not disregarding you. Whatever you want to talk about is important. I love you. But right now I don't have the mental capacity to stay awake to and conversate with you and react the way you would like me to react to it.
Sometimes some people are a product of their own environment.
100%. Always. Not sometimes. Always, I think.
Right, but then,
Unless you change your environment.
right. Well, I mean, I would digress if I go into this, but again, some back to women,
Yeah.
and you can't expect them to know all these things. At this day and age, we have no excuse on becoming a better person or becoming a better version and learning how to become a better person for ourselves and our future. I understand our parents back in, in the 90s and the 80s or 70s, like they
Yeah,
had
there was
no
not much. Yeah.
resources. But now we owe it to ourselves to do this so that we can dig deep, find out trauma, find out things. And this is why I say, and I highly recommend to people that you write down things that trigger you. And whenever something triggers me, from like an emotion comes up, whether it's sadness, whether it's anger, happy, um, I really think about, why is this making me happy? Why is this making
Or
me
unhappy.
sad?
Yeah.
Why is this making me mad? Where does it stem from? And the quickest way you can get to that, um, the bottom of it, you can let it go. When something comes up and it triggers you in a
Yeah.
bad way, you can whether write it down, say it to yourself, or do a voice note or something. That way it doesn't keep coming up. But a lot of people don't think to ask themselves that those type of questions.
Yeah. You're talking about a concept called self work.
Mhm.
Very few people want to do self work because it's tough. You just said it yourself. We have it a lot easier than our parents did. We live in the best day and age and time on this planet. Okay? We have the best medical system. Well, I'm not saying like in the world. I think we have a good one too, but I'm saying we live in a day and age we have internet. We can order food on this little black device. I can pick it up. I can open it and within minutes, right? I can have food delivered to me. I don't have to do shit. I have to go out there for days, hunt, kill,
Right.
bring it home. There's a possibility of me fucking dying out there. Okay, literally, I sit on my ass, I go on my phone, and I can order food, and it will be here, and I'll eat it. And I can watch Netflix, or I can do other stupid shit. What I'm trying to say is this: there is no excuse not to do the work. But people are so fucking lazy, so fucking comfortable, so fucking scared to do the work that they would rather remain victims. And they'll shit on themselves and they'll feel like victims about everything that happens to them because they always think this happened to me. No, motherfucker, it happened for you. But if you open your eyes, you'll realize that it happens for you. You're a good reminder to me sometimes when I have certain dick punches. You tell me, okay, think about it this way. This didn't happen to you. This happened for you. All
Well,
right, moving on.
well, that same thought process, there's different levels of wavelengths of thinking. So I'm sure at one point in your life, you were scared to start this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
still fucking sometimes feel
that
uncomfortable.
that same level of fear is still in people. And that is half the battle of life, is fighting your inner demons, your
Your inner
inner
bitch.
thoughts, your inner
Say it.
insecurities, all of that. You can't fight it on your own sometimes, which is why journaling helps, why getting a
Yeah.
therapist helps, why finding and asking yourself questions on what makes you happy, what makes me mad, what makes you sensitive. That way you know what it is before anybody else can trigger it in you. Or you meet people that, and you get into these relationships with friends and the opposite sex, and they trigger something in you. And a lot of people want to be upset with their past relationships, whether it's friendships or sexual relationships, because it didn't go the way they wanted to.
It's never gonna go the way you want it
Well,
to.
that's what my point is that so many people, we often are so focused on how it went wrong and what went wrong for us. And instead of looking at the negative, why not change it around and ask ourselves, what did this relationship teach me? People don't ask themselves that.
Because it's hard.
Exactly.
And it's
So
easy to be a victim.
it is, but that's why it needs to be said that people have to sit there and get to know themselves first before even thinking about getting into a relationship with somebody else. Like I showed you my video that I created earlier. We get into relationships sometimes because of our upbringing with our father.
Mm-hmm.
And that triggers something in us with how he raised us, whether he was there, whether he wasn't there. Because sometimes as little girls, we say, "Oh, I want a partner, I want a boyfriend, I want a husband to treat me like my dad did. Very respectful, open the car for me, open the door for me, bought me flowers." And then there's little girls out there that didn't have their dad. So they're afraid of being around men, or they don't know how to carry themselves around a man because they didn't
Sometimes I think
have.
it's a threat.
Exactly,
There's
that's
been
another
women out
thing.
there who were threatened by me for no particular fucking reason because they're not used to be around masculine men. I had a woman flat out told me, like, I don't like you. I don't like you. And I asked her why. And she told me, because you're different and I can't put a leash on you. Not in a sense that, like, not in a sense I wasn't dating that woman, but we were having a heated debate. And I'm like, no, this is not gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna tell you how it is. And she's a successful woman. But the funny thing is this: I've gone out and I never dated like a woman who was a loser and failure in her life. Every single one of my girlfriends moved towards something, or were on her way to a successful career or whatever. So they weren't just like useless and bottom feeders. But some of them were not used to dealing with real men in their lives. And as soon as I got to know what their male figure at home, their fathers looked like, I was like, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Makes a lot of sense. So you're gonna have two options. Number one, you're gonna get used to this shit because this is how men are, or this shit is not gonna work out. Like, I will not be talked to this way. I will not tolerate certain things. Let's get it from the beginning, from the very beginning. Shit, I had this conversation with you too.
And a lot of girls don't want to have those
They see the
conversations.
threat.
Girls sometimes are afraid to ask questions to their male partners because, oh, it's too soon, I shouldn't ask him this, I shouldn't tell him how I feel. Girl, if you are so quick to allow a man's genitals in your area, where you can possess some type of
That's supposed to be
uh
sacred
exactly, why can't you have those uncomfortable conversations?
because it's easier to give it up.
Same with men. I'm sorry, but men, they have better standards, guys. Like, don't just go
Yeah.
and whip it out because, oh, well, I think she's cute and she was flashing her ass at me and she has big boobs and
Well, listen.
I
In defense of certain men out there, there's a lot of women out there who do this shit on purpose. So excuse me, but when you walk like a duck, squeak like a duck, you talk like a duck, you look like a duck, you might as well be a fucking duck.
Hold on, I wasn't finished. When I said men have better standards.
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna, as a woman of my stature,
Your
I
stature.
don't like men. Before I met you, I did not like men who were whoring around. Sorry, I had to say that. Women, we know when men are
Okay,
they've been
so all right.
around. Okay, hold on, let me
Uncomfortable
finish it.
questions.
Hold on, I'm not done
You know
yet.
what I'm gonna ask you.
I'm not done yet.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna write that question
I
down right
think,
now.
go ahead, please, so you don't forget it. So I think that there's some things that should be traditional and old school by asking questions and not just like, all right, cool. It does at this day and age, it's so common to just allow somebody to like, all right, cool, let's just like have a one night stand. All right, cool. And then they feel like shit the next day or
Yeah, walk of shame and all that stuff.
but somebody needs to set the standards to say,
Yeah, I
hey,
tell you
look,
who. Fathers. Motherfuckers need to step up and be good
oh, so
fathers
what
and
happens to kids that
examples.
don't have fathers at all? Whether the father didn't want to stick around, whether the father is still alive but doesn't care to check in, you can't blame that individual because they didn't have that. They didn't choose to their father.
Yeah, I know. Well, that great question. But before we go too far into that one, let's take a few steps back. And I'm gonna ask you a very uncomfortable question, which I think will benefit a lot of women out there.
I'm ready.
Okay? You said women don't like men who whore around. Now, when we met, and I was honest about, well, it wasn't like, well,
Hold on.
when you asked me how many women I was dating at the time, I told you honestly how many.
No, I've never asked you.
We did. You did. We were in Palm Springs. I remember we were in Palm Springs, okay, and we were having brunch the day after the fight.
Oh, that's
We
right.
went to see the fight.
Hey, I
Okay.
asked the uncomfortable question because I was
Yeah.
ready for the answer.
And I told you the number,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't.
You were kind of like, oh, I think. I'm like, just be blunt, straight up. I don't. Just tell me.
And I did. But my point is not.
You're a little shy, but go on.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, at that point, I already started to care, about you enough to ask you to be my girlfriend.
Why are you scared?
I quit all the relationships with other women that I had. I made a serious decision. Okay, she is the one.
Mhm.
So, that I want to seriously, spend my time with. But when we just met, like month before, right?
No.
Because 2 months before, like at least 2 months, because from
was-
June to September or October.
It was like a little
2-3 months.
over 3 months.
Okay, when we just met,
Right.
okay, that's where I was. I was that asshole. But I never treated you
Wait,
with.
wait. Because a lot of people consider asshole different things. So your terminology, your definition of asshole is completely different than what the normal.
Well, you said men who whore around.
I didn't call you an asshole.
Doesn't necessarily sound like I was an angel. You didn't say men who spend their time amongst a variety of women. You said men who whore around. Okay?
Oh,
Whether you use that word with women or men, it sounds pretty rad. So, answer my question.
What's your question?
How can a woman know that, okay, this dude is serious about this relationship, knowing that he's been with multiple women? Sometimes, when he met her, for example, like, what is it that made you not like puke and leave me alone and break up and whatever? We weren't officially together at the time.
So this goes back to confidence and believing in who and what you are. So I told myself, and I did what I needed to do before I met you. I said, if I want to take this person serious, I need to do something that I I need to make a sacrifice, pretty much. I need to sacrifice. I need to do something different. So I need to do something that's going to allow me to be that different person, which was cut off a lot of people. Whether it was just texting, whether it's just, hey, what's up? And like, I bluntly said, okay, there's these people that were in and out of my life.
Yeah.
I gotta stop.
Okay, pause, time out. Very important thing for you guys to know. I did my work separately away from her, and I cut off all these women out of my life without her knowing, and she did her work on herself separately away from me without me knowing. That's very important thing to know. You have to do the fucking self work to be a better person first. Then you meet the person that you want to be with. Sorry to interrupt, but I had to talk about that.
And that's exactly what I did. I said, you know what? If whether he's talking to somebody else, that's none of my business. I just know if I want something different, I have to do something different, which is cut people off, no longer allow them to have access to me. Because I said, you know what? I'm ready to start that life with somebody. I'm getting older. It takes a while to really get to know somebody. And I knew that I wanted something a lot serious. I had dated somebody older, I dated somebody younger. I learned from it, but it didn't feel serious enough. But I think that was because I knew I wasn't taking it serious and doing the actual work. There were
Yeah.
still people that had access to me that I didn't take serious. And
By access to her, she doesn't mean sexual
no,
access.
oh
It
no.
means
I
like
mean, like, okay, I still had
communication access.
communication access
Yeah.
where I was like,
People
okay,
out there
cool, had
fucking
friends.
and start
So
making assumptions.
I told myself, you do this for you. And you have faith in God, you have faith in yourself, you trust yourself, you know, hey, you know what, I'm doing this for me, whether or not it's him, it's gonna be somebody else. But I felt good about it because I didn't have any strings, I had no strings
Yeah.
attached to anybody. I had a clear conscience. I told myself I want to take him serious, so if we become serious, I don't have to be worrying about having to explain to you this person is nobody, I swear. Like, I didn't want to have to do that. It's like, well, who is this? It's nobody. So I made that first before I even knew that it was going to go anywhere with you. But I felt it. Now, if you didn't do what you needed to do, I told myself, Nicole, if he doesn't act right and really take initiative and step up and to do and ask you questions and potentially ask you to be his girlfriend, then don't waste your time. I'm too old, but I'm still young enough to know my value and my worth. If you would have taken more than 6 months,
Yeah.
I would have just said, yeah, you know what? Like, this is just not it. Like, I don't have time to be wasting anymore.
I just realized that I asked to be my girlfriend literally like a couple hours later after you asked me that question.
After.
I was on the way back from Palm Springs.
No, you asked me, we're having brunch.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we
Yeah.
left.
Yeah. And on the way back home, I asked you
Oh yeah.
to be my girlfriend.
You guys want to hear how he asked me to girlfriend?
You still remember, huh? You wouldn't forget shit like that.
That was
Hey,
so funny.
it was good though.
It was that like planned.
All right, tell him
Or...
real quick, and then move on to the next question.
So I went to Whole
Real
Foods
quick.
to go get him some breakfast slash lunch, and while I was in the aisle, some
That was like the
guy.
day before.
No, it was a day. Oh yeah, the day we left to Palm
Yeah,
Springs.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And so I'm checking out. This guy comes over and he's like, "Hi, you're very beautiful. I'd like to take you out on a date." I'm like, "No, I'm okay." He's like, I was like, he's like, "Do you live around here?" I said, "No, I don't." He's like, "Well, where do you live?" And I said, "I live towards like West Covina area." He's like, "Oh, it's fine." He's like, "My family's out in this area." And I was like, "Thank you. I appreciate that, but I'm not interested." She's like, "Oh, okay." So I go to your house. I walk in and I'm kind of laughing. And so I tell you, some guy approached me asking me to take me on a date. And I don't know what you said. And I was like, we kind of just laughed about it. And then we went to Palm Springs. I think we stood there for what, 2 nights?
Mm-mm.
1 night?
Mm-hmm.
And when we came
And
back.
I had that brunch.
I
The
had the
next day
brunch.
after the fight was the night of, and then the next day
We had brunch,
yeah,
and
and where you asked me an uncomfortable question.
we're driving back, and we're stuck in traffic. And he says, "So next time, somebody asks you for on a date, tell me you have a boyfriend." And I was like,
No, you
"Where's she at? Where's he at? I don't
you
know where's
you were like, what do you mean? I don't have a boyfriend.
he
And I was like,
at." Yeah.
yeah, you do. Hi, I'm the boyfriend.
And then I said, "Well, what if I don't want you to be my boyfriend?" You're like, "That's fine because I'm still gonna be your boyfriend." And I was like,
Well,
"Hmm."
that makes me sound like a psychopath.
No.
All right. All
So I
right.
thought that was
That was
funny.
funny. That was good
All
stuff.
right, let's back to my questions.
Yeah.
Let's see.
How many more you got?
Oh, let's see. What are some bad habits you had to overcome to be where you are today?
Number one, temper. For sure. Temper took me. Still work on it. Still working on it every day. Yeah. I come from a family where my father had hair trigger temper. It fucking made everybody walk on eggshells. I've seen and experienced domestic violence since a very young age. I've seen things that I should not have seen as a child. I've seen a lot of anger and destruction come from my father, and that reflected on all the kids, my sister, older sister, my older brother, and me. And that actually hurt me alive multiple times. Physical fights, altercations with other people, me not knowing how to really channel my energy into the right direction, and it would blow up in anger. And also in my relationship with other women, that shit hurt me a lot. Well, hurt the relationship. So understanding that I have certain temper issues and actively working on them was a thing that I had to really focus on. Really focus on. To this day, to this day. And you know this. So that was one of them. Another habit that I had to break, right? You asking about habits that I had to break is not allowing people to manipulate my time. In other words, I had to learn how to say no. No, I can't. No, I'm busy. No. And the next level to that was first it was like no because of this, because of that. No,
You would still
come up
explain
with a
yourself.
life. Now I'm just like no, sorry, I can't. Like if it's somebody who's really like I know will understand, right? I'm like sorry, bro. Like this is the stuff that I have to do. Very important. I hope you understand. Let's reschedule or try. And everybody has a life of their own. But if somebody just asks me to do, let's go drink or something, bro, no. Like I don't have time or desire for that. Like once in a while, I enjoy, a kind of white
A
claw.
white claw.
Hey, wow, wow, you did not just hit me with that's fucking karma. That's what I get for talking shit about people who drink white claw. Uh, I knew it was gonna come back to me one day.
Hey, you know
I knew it
what?
was gonna come
I'm
back to me
just
one day.
glad you figured it out on
So the
your
reason
own.
why this is a joke is a
You're
hole.
welcome.
And I say that with love. The reason why this is funny is because I used to be a very heavy drinker, a high end spirit collector.
Now it's just collecting dust in our living room. And
And
the
I have a bar with lots of high end liquor that I've collected over the years. And
a
I used
4 foot Macallan.
to leave that bottle alone. Okay, it's rare.
Half
Uh,
my size. Go on.
um. Anyways, and I went from like being a big drinker to drinking very rarely now. Maybe every other week I would have a glass of wine or a white claw. And yes, I drink white claw now. And the reason why this was funny is because I used to talk smack to people who drink white claw. So I'd be walking around loud and proud with my, single malt scotch or Japanese whiskey aged, which I still enjoy once in a while, even more rare than I enjoy a white claw or a glass of wine. But I'll be that person who talks shit to people who drink White Claw. And here we
How
are,
the tables
have
have
turned. But you know
turned.
what? This is one of those things where I did it for the better of me.
Well,
Coming from a
you should
bartender,
always want to do
yeah,
better for
yeah.
you.
It's just I don't enjoy alcohol as much as I used to, and it affects my mental state, my body, my physical state.
It's funny you say that because when I bartended this past weekend, I had a gentleman ask me to buy me a drink. Like, all right, cool, sure. And so I made myself I was like, I don't want to drink whiskey that's heavy, something light. I don't, sure, I made myself Grey Goose and pineapple. And I cheers and I took one gulp and I was like, this is
You
not.
sure it was Grey Goose though?
Yeah, we didn't have a very high selection of vodka. We have a higher selection in tequilas
Yeah.
and whiskeys. I was just
You know
like,
what I
eh,
learned recently? That really, really good quality tequila is actually good for you.
nice. I don't tequila. It
I don't
brings out
drink
the
tequila.
demons. So,
Well,
um,
no, no. Yes and no. I learned
higher end,
higher
yes.
end quality tequila, like the
Lower
ones that I
end,
buy once in a while, like
yes.
that I took
Okay, yes, those are
to your
good.
family one time.
Yeah.
That was delicious.
Blanco will bring out the
But all that garbage
negro.
that we thought was awesome. The Patron, the Don Julio, the 1940. I can't stand
Oh
1942.
my gosh, just like
It's
a few years
fucking
ago,
disgusting.
we
Whoa,
took it
whoa,
to
whoa, whoa,
Tulum.
whoa. Okay, first of all, we didn't even finish it. We split that shit with other people, and I remember
Did we?
pouring the rest of it out. Yeah, when we had the our friends from
Oh, Georgia?
Georgia, one of the nights.
Yeah.
It just didn't. That was the last time I had 1942.
Really?
That was the last time because it was so disgusting. And I can't believe people still rave about it. There's so much more delicious tequila out there than 1942.
It's
And
just.
no disrespect, 1942. I used to drink you guys a lot back in college. This was the bougie shit. But god damn, you guys can make
Well,
better
times
tequila.
change. But back to the thing, I couldn't finish the drink. I had to force myself, and I'm like, oh yeah, I took another sip after that first one. I'm like, I'm done. I'm
It just
done.
doesn't serve you well.
It does, like, especially being a bartender.
Oh yeah.
When I was working at the gentleman's club. All right, cool. I take a shot, but as I get older, just let it hit me already. I don't need a hangover. Just give me the alcohol. You want to get straight to the point? Just take shots.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're digressing.
Yeah.
So
What you got? What else you got?
let's see. What's our next question?
How many questions you got, woman?
I have 4. So
You asked me like 7 already.
relax. What did you learn when you were a bachelor?
Oh, what did I learn? I learned that it's not hard to pick up women. It's not. It really is not. And to all the dudes out there who think that it's extremely hard to connect with girls, it's not. And I talk about in one of my episodes how you can be more comfortable with women, and from my own experience.
I love to hear how you pick up how you used to pick up on women.
I'm not gonna talk about how I used to pick up on women, but I'll tell you this much: I was always me. If I enjoyed certain somebody's company, I genuinely enjoyed it. I guess it's my fault that over time, as you get to know a person better, you realize, okay, now maybe this is not my cup of tea. I'm out. Okay. My only bad habit, and I admit it, and I'm sorry to all the ladies out there who possibly are hearing this and know me or knew the not so wise version of me back then. I apologize for one thing and one thing only. It's not properly communicating the end of whatever was happening.
So you ghosted them.
I never ghosted anybody, but I was like,
You
like,
just know you didn't verbally tell them, you just weren't it.
no, I was just like, I had a very poor way of communicating. Like, listen, like, I'm busy. This ain't working out. Instead of like, I'm
Instead of
sorry.
owning up.
Yeah, yeah. But never disrespected anybody. Always was carry myself as a gentleman. Was always chivalrous. Treat everyone with respect. Never talk shit about any of them afterwards. It didn't work out. Didn't work out. I should have just made better decision how to communicate, like straightforward, without being afraid of hurting their feelings. I always cared about like I don't want to hurt their feelings. Maybe I should just distance myself. No.
You hear that, guys?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Just be honest. First and foremost, don't be an asshole. Like, there are dudes out there who will manipulate you to get in your pants. And I've come across guys like that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, good men, masculine men, don't like guys like that. Because if you're trying too hard to be to be like certain somebody who you're not, you're a sleazeball.
I once had a guy who told me that the reason why we were together, I think like 4 years, and he said that the last 2 years of our relationship, he didn't want to be with me, but he didn't want anybody else to be with me, so he just stuck
That's something
around.
women would do.
Isn't that
That is
fucked up?
something women would do. I've actually had a woman tell me, like, no, I don't like him, but I don't want any other woman to have him. I was like, are you out of your mind? Like, let this guy go. It's funny. I was just thinking about that person today. I don't know where randomly. I was like, does she have a boyfriend? Because I was like, how do you do that to someone? Like, you break up with a dude, but then you keep him. And I've had that. I've had this female, right, that I kind of was dating, and she was. If I was a piece of shit, I would have kept around for longer. But I was like, no, I'm not an asshole. Like, this can't drag on. I have to tell, like, listen, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna be the type of guy who will take advantage of you. Like, this has to end right now. So let's just stop talking before, I have one of those nights when I'm bored and I'm tired and I'll just like hate me and don't ever talk to me, please. Goodbye. But there's a lot of guys out there who are, would have taken advantage of her. And
But
met
maybe that's probably what she needs.
me telling her that this shit is over or being taken advantage of.
Yeah, being taken advantage of. It's
I
unfortunate
don't
that
know.
not everybody deserves that, but sometimes that's a shift in somebody's mindset. Like, it's unfortunate that people don't change unless a tragic event occurs, and that's when they decide that they need to change their ways,
Isn't
change
that
their
unfortunate?
being. So I think we all have that obstacle in our lives at one point, that we just will continue to tolerate stuff because we're used to being comfortable.
It's dealing with the devil you know because you're afraid of the devil you don't know. Just saying something. I'd rather deal with, the devil. Yeah, I know the devil I don't know. Those are the things that I learned, being a bachelor. It's really not that complicated. It's really fucking simple. Like, have some tequila at home, have some champagne or wine, have a comfy rug, make sure your AC or your heater works, have clean sheets.
Make sure you buy her toothbrush and toothpaste.
No, the only person uh who had that was you, yeah, who had started having a toothbrush in my place. Yeah,
I thought that was kind of cute in the beginning.
have toothbrush in my place before we lived together. Because I lived with my ex for like a few months before we broke up. Obviously, she would have had to
Right.
have a toothbrush, but you were the only person who, before we started living together, had a who I allowed, who I allowed
Yes, throw that out there,
to
guys.
have. Yeah,
More than once.
yeah. Don't start moving your shit into my house. If we haven't made an agreement, like, you can maybe forget something, but no. But I was like, all right, she can have a toothbrush. It's all good.
And he bought it for me too. That's how you get him, girls. You let him buy you the toothbrush.
Are you proud of that? You're funny, baby. Yeah, just get your shit together. Get your shit together. And it's important for guys to understand that you don't need to try hard to go get a woman. All you really need to do is become a man. Become a self-sufficient, confident, fit.
Hold
And
on. I'm sorry to cut you off,
uh-huh.
but this has been heavy on my mind. I have met some pretty fit guys who, oh my gosh. It's just greater if they don't open their mouth.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. But the confidence didn't
yeah.
match the physical appearance. So I hate to be the bad news of bad news bearer that just because a man looks great, I'm sure for women too, just because
Yeah.
she looks great doesn't necessarily mean
Oh yeah.
upstairs is all that good stuff. So
100%.
promoting fitness sometimes doesn't even help a person. They have to do the physical gym, the emotional gym, the
Mental,
mental
spiritual. Yeah.
gym, because I have seen some guys in my time where they looked very confident, they had a nice body, and then when you really like got to know them, I was just mind blown. I was like, what,
Stop talking.
what? This was nice. You're pretty
Well,
to look at,
what you're saying is
but I
not
gotta
not
go.
every man or woman who are fit
Mhm.
or confident,
Mhm. Yep.
but a lot, a lot of successful, confident men and women out there are fit. I'm yet
Oh
to
yeah.
meet a successful, confident man or a woman who are obese or overweight or in bad physical shape. I have not. Have you? I don't know of any.
They're
All my
they're
mentors and people I
confident
look
in a
up to and listen
certain
to,
degree. Let's just say that.
when you're overweight, when you're fat, to a certain degree, yeah, sometimes you don't have a degree of comfort. That's when we start blaming people. Like the fucking fat ass influencer that was on the plane. She complained that planes should be made bigger because her ass is so fat it can't fit between the seats.
Right.
What kind of narcissistic bullshit is that? When you complain that the planes should be bigger because your fat ass does not squeeze in the aisle. That is a whole nother level of bullshit right there. This is where we are. This is where we're battling right now. This is the generation of influencers and people who think that the whole fucking world should revolve around them. No, you are minuscule on this planet. Like, we think we're so fucking special. We're not. We really are not. And if you want to be special, if you want to have worth, then go out there and help other people. Like,
Help yourself first.
help yourself first. Like, people ask, I had a person ask me, why am I doing this? Like, am I doing this? What do I need this for? It's not fame. I'm not trying to be famous. It's not money. I'm gonna be honest. You know this. I spend money to have a luxury of having a podcast studio, a videographer. That costs money.
It's a
Okay.
passion.
But it's passion. I'm passionate about it. And at the very core of this podcast is what? Me trying to give value to other people, mostly men out there, from my own personal experience. Sometimes from the things that I learned, sometimes from my education, certain degrees that I possess, but mostly from my experience. That's all I'm doing this for. If this makes me money in the future, then I would absolutely fucking love it. It would be great. Then all I gotta do is this. I enjoy this, You telling me I can help people and make money? That's fucking amazing. But besides that, before we even ever got there, like I'm blessed enough to have
An
ways of
outlet.
income, an outlet, and with that outlet and income or multiple incomes, I'm able to have this because I'm passionate. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing men out there throwing away their fucking lives, like indulging in vices, destroying their lives. This fat, obnoxious, docile, weak, dumb, in debt, men out there who are not doing shit with their lives. And to me, it's like, this needs to stop. Like, other men need to step up and do something about it.
Amen.
Thank you.
Well, those are some pretty deep answers we had there. I took a few notes, some little, check marks.
I took mental notes.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
And I found the list.
When-
The list, guys.
Oh, this is
This
it,
is
huh?
the
I was wondering why you brought out your old book.
well, this is the only book that still had a few more pages to write in.
This guy's right here is
This is a famous
the famous.
manifestation list of my
Yeah,
ideal husband, partner, and soulmate goals.
yeah. She manifested this character.
45
Are you gonna
items.
share?
I
You
don't
gonna
know.
share it now?
I don't know. Maybe
Oh,
we should leave it. for
We can share a few. I mean, we already started talking about it. We can share a few.
okay, so a
This is what she
few.
manifested an ideal partner.
This was in September 2019.
So almost 4 years ago.
Oh damn. Yeah, this is September 2019. All right. So a few items I would like to say is he was spiritual, open-minded, physically fit and healthy,
Well, thank you.
loves to travel,
Hell yeah.
knows how to keep a conversation going,
Amen.
respects my space. That was very big.
Hmm.
Knows about the love language and acts on it.
Yeah, she loves to eat. My love language is food.
Knows balance, puts me first when necessary, enjoys life, trustful and trusting, and loyal. And then we won't get into any of the other ones because we're just going to keep that.
All those are. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
I must say.
So I was in I guess like a feeling of vulnerable, like fuck this shit, like I have nothing to lose, we're just gonna just keep writing. And the reason why I added some of these was because I've experienced the not so good versions of this. I had relationships that were not loyal. I was dating somebody who was flirting with other people while with me. Somebody who was, and this is not like serious dating, it was just somebody that I met, started to get to know, who did drugs, didn't know how to balance their life. So it's good to take the good and the bad from your past and write down, okay, well, that I didn't like about that person. Now let me write down the good that can bring out in somebody else. So there's benefits to looking back and putting the puzzle pieces together and saying, all right, well, I experienced that. I didn't like that. So how can I change that? What do I want in my next person? And that's how the good Lord brought you. So I'm glad you showed up for yourself, because if you didn't, we would not.
You ever
Be
thank
here.
the big guy upstairs
Oh,
for
all the
this?
time.
Yeah.
All the time. I have
All
my
right. Fair
moments
enough.
where
Fair enough.
I'm grateful to have a supportive partner. October 2nd or October 6th, 2022. So yeah, there you go. I just answered your question.
Nice.
Anyways, well,
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's proof in having a good list of things that you want. We also did that for this place here.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely am a firm believer in writing down exactly what you want.
Yeah. Or even have a problem, write it down. That's half the problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyways, we are at the end of our episode.
Yes.
Another episode of his and hers version of Purpose Over Pleasure. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And for you guys, I hope you found some value in this episode. And I'm doing this only and purely to help other men out there and women too. So if you guys like this episode and you find something of value, or at the very least just respect the hustle, please give me a like, please share, and please subscribe. It helps my channel grow and it sees that I'm doing something good. And it actually provides me feedback to be better, to discuss things that are more important and more valuable, so I can be a better person, better podcaster, better interviewer, better speaker to give better value back to you guys. So please click like, share, and subscribe. See you guys next time. Have a good night.
Toodles.